In this 21st century American society, it is understood by nearly everyone that a college degree is needed for success. Well, imagine the society where there was no one to help guide each student down the road to the college that they were going to attain this degree. This is a world without admissions counselors. Now, I know it might sound a little strange, but I'm here today to describe to you the importance and the role of an admissions counselor in the college process. Now, this subject is pretty near and dear to my heart because for 3 years now, I've been an admissions counselor at a Bible college. I love my job, and I think it's important that everyone should know what the role of an admissions counselor is. Now, admissions counselors are so crucial in college enrollment for testimony, for encouragement, for advancement in the college process. And there are 3 main aspects of the role that I would love to share with you today. And one of them is the administration part of the job. This is the admissions counselor helping the student with the paperwork and the official process of the college admissions. The second is the friendship. This is where the admissions counselor really is intentional to build a relationship with each student. And thirdly is the ministry aspect of it. This is where the admissions counselor uses his relationship or her relationship with the student to guide them down a God-glorifying path with God-centered conversation. So let's take a look at the administrative aspect of the admissions counselor's role. I'm going to call admissions counselors ACs from now on. That's kind of the little technical term that we like to call them. And with the college process, there is a mountain of paperwork, and it can be very overwhelming to the students. And the admissions counselor can be an encouraging presence during this time. One, because the AC knows all of the paperwork that's needed for the college admission process. And 2, because the AC is intentional about making connection with each student to ensure that the process is complete. I'm going to read to you a list from the College Board website, a website that is used to help students transition from high school to college, and what they say is needed for admissions. They say that the application, paperwork for deadlines, admissions test, standardized test scores, references, essays, application fee, FAFSA, financial aid forms, all of these are needed for the admission process, and that's just a portion. I remember when I was entering college and I was just overwhelmed because I had no clue what was needed. My admissions counselor was such a comforting presence because she was very intentional, very patient with me to reach out and say, okay, Courtney, here's what we need from you. Get this in, and next week I'll call you and we'll talk about this. So I felt like going into college, I knew what I was doing because of my admissions counselor. And the bond that was created between her and I is the second aspect of the admissions counselor's role. That is the friendship. There is a bond that is created between the student and the AC that is crucial to a student effectively transitioning into college. I'm going to read to you a quote from the director of admissions at Wartburg College in Iowa about the definition of an admissions counselor. He says this: admissions counselors are trained in admissions standards, counseling, and financial aid in order to help the student make a great decision. Many students develop a close bond with the admissions counselor they are working with through the process. The student's admissions counselor is an individual that can help him or her sift through all the information that he or she has received and assist the student in making that right choice decision. Now, by taking the time to get to know the student on surface level and on a deeper level, the AC is capable of guiding that student down a God-glorifying path based on the student's personality, their goals, their dreams, their talents, and even where they are in their walk with the Lord. And this relationship occurs through intentional connections initiated by the admissions counselor to get to know that student. And this bond that is formed inevitably results in ministry from the admissions counselor to the student. And that's the third aspect of the AC's role that I'd love to talk about today. There is a quote from Oz Hillman from Marketplace Leadership where he talks about the secular workplace and how every job in the secular work field can be seen as ministry. This is what he says: God never secularized our work. He desires our work to be viewed as worship. And this should be the perspective of every admissions counselor, because our job is really, really important, because we are attempting to lead a student down a path that is not, to get more numbers for the college, but really to assist that student for the best path for his or her life. And this really is cultivated. This ministry is seen through prayer with and for the student, and taking opportune moments to share truth with each student. So it's clear that the AC, the admissions counselor, it's so much more than pushing papers. It's a ministry to the people of God. And the three aspects of the job that we talked about today were helping the student with the official college process, as well as building relationships with each student and sharing truth with that student so that the student is picking the best college for him or her. Now, I want you to think about, again, your college experience. And if you hadn't had an admissions counselor, you probably wouldn't be where you are today. Thank the Lord for that person. And you can be an honorary admissions counselor by getting to know a student, seeking them out, helping them out with their paperwork, as well as building a relationship, seeing where they are in their walk with the Lord, and leading them down a God-glorifying path. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope all of you become honorary admissions counselors.